welcome to lesson 4. In this lesson, we're going to be learning how to use if-else statements in C++. So, what are if statements? So, if statements allow your programs to make decisions based on an information. So, the decisions it can make is either if that information is true or false. So, yes or no. There's only two ways for it to go. It's binary. So, how to use this if statement? So, you write if in the beginning of the line, you put a parenthesis, and then you write whatever statement is there to be evaluated. So, you write if, then the statement you're evaluating. So, if the variable number of cats is bigger than 1, so if that is true, the program is going to return 0. If that is false, it's just going to skip that line completely and continue running the code. So you can run more than one line after an if statement. You can do that by using this symbol over here. So you write the if statement that is being evaluated, and when you use these curly brackets, you can put any information you want inside them. It can be as many lines as you want. And then you close the curly bracket, and information in here is going to run only if this if statement proves true. There's different types of tests that you can make. So it can be if it is equal, if it is different, if it is bigger than a value, if it is smaller than a value, if it is bigger or equal to a value, if it is smaller or equal to a value. This is very important because this double equals has to be used. It is not interchangeable with only one equals. When you use only one equal, that means that you are assigning a variable. When you use two equals, it means that you are comparing it to something else. So this has to be used, and if you use only one equal, the program is not going to work. Else statements. So else statements can be used after if statements, and they will always run if the if statement is proven false. So an example, we are testing if the variable test is equal to 5. So in this test, the variable 5 that is smaller than 10, because 5 is smaller than 10, which means that the code in here is going to run, and the code in here inside this else would be skipped. But in this other case, the variable test that's stored 5 is not bigger than 10. It is smaller than 10. So the statements in here would not be run, but the code after it, so in the else statement, will run, because the if is false. So if is false, else runs. You can also use if-else statements. So if-else statements will only run if the previous if proves to be false, but there's also a statement that has to be proven true for them to run. So let's look at it over here. So first we have if a is equal to 10. If this is false, we go to the next statement. If a is equal to 20. If this one is false, this is not going to run, and we go to the next statement. So else if a is equal to 30. So if it's not 10, it's not 20, it is 30. That means that this statement is going to run. And if this one also proves to be false, this last else statement is going to run only if none of the previous conditions are true. And then it will see out whatever is here. So let's give it a try to show you guys an example of how this would work. Let's do an example with candies. So we have an int called candies. And for now, let's set it to 3. Let's suppose we have 3 candies. Or, never mind, let's start with 1. Now, let's do an if statement. If the number of candies is smaller or equal to 1, so if it's 0 or if it's 1, that means that we see out to the user that we do not have enough candies to share. Because we only have 1 candy or we have 0 candies, which means that can't happen. So now let's do an else if. Else if our candies is equals to 2. See, I used 2 equals over here. That is very important. So if our candies are equal to 2, let's see out to our user. We have enough to share with 1 person. And now let's do a final else. So this else is going to run if this is false, if this is false. So that means that we have more than 1 candy and we have more than 2 candies. So we have more, we can share with more than 1 person. So see out, we have enough to share with more than 1 person. See, that's great. We have a bunch of candy to share. So for now, our candies are equal to 1. So let's see what happens. See, since our candies are equal to 1, the program outputs that we don't have enough candies to share because we only have 1 and we want to eat that candy, right? So now let's try with another value. If we have candies are equal to 2. In this case, it says that we have enough to share with 1 person because we have 2 candies. So we keep 1, they eat the other. And let's suppose candy is equal to 10. So the program says that we have enough to share with more than 1 person. So we can share with 10 people, we can share with 5 people, we can share with as many as we want. You can also combine this if statements with other things. So you can use CN statements that we learned previously. So the user inputs the number of candies instead of you changing it yourself. And you can tweak it however you want. Thank you for watching this lesson. I hope you enjoyed it. Bye!